I greet you with peace and magical blessings. And again, my name is Mama Ayana Iyi, and I am the wife of the late, great Kalindi Iyi. And if any of you know that name, would you raise your hand, please? Okay, awesome. And as I call his name, I want to bring forth his energy from the spiritual side in the ancient African way. And in that way, I will say, Ogum, Mojuba, Ibaye, Ashe, Asheo. I call forth his energy. As always, he's always with me, but to acknowledge him in a space like this is what I do. And so I will also call forth the energies of the great mothers. As I say, calling forth spirits from space and time, all of the great mothers of my matrilineal line. For it is those that I will speak about today, and what this message is about is the great mothers and the energy that they have brought forth. And some of the energy that has come forth that I've learned through time with all of the sister circles that I have given over a number of years is that a lot of women are holding on to energy that they need to release in order to move forward in a positive way and stand strong in their power. So before I get into that, I just want to give a few definitions for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure a lot of you do know. The word psychedelic, that means mind manifesting. Mind manifesting. The word hallucinate, which has been the word has been demonized because when you think hallucinate, you think somebody is spaced out and on, oh, they're going crazy. But the word hallucinate means to wander through your own mind. They say we use 10% of our brain, and the other 90 is dormant. Well, okay, so let's look at it like that. What psychedelics do and have done, they open up the door to that 90%, and you get to walk through. So I like to say that 20 years ago, I took my first 5 grams, and it freed my mind, and my ass followed, and here I am today. The word entheogen, to generate the God or deity within. You are all gods, all goddesses. That is you, that is your power, that is your strength. And when you can let go of the dogma of this world and understand and tap into who you are, that's when you start to live. And that's what they don't want us to do, is live, which is why they again have demonized psychedelics. The etheric mind, the human energy field or aura. It is also said to be an immediate contact with the physical body to sustain it and connect it with higher bodies. So I want to talk about the ancestral trauma that has been passed through generations. And when I speak about the ancestral trauma, specifically as it relates to the womb health of our women, okay? Again, given sister circles, we go up into the woods. I teach the women how to pitch tents, build fires. We pee all over the place. Blood is released. Women that haven't bled in a while will bleed because the earth commands that sacrifice from them, that generous sacrifice. So finding that when we connect in a circle, which is very ancient, when women come together in nature, in a circle, we connect through psychedelics through the womb. And the energy that comes forth is wombs that are in trouble, okay? And those wombs, so my talk is called Unlocking the Womb, okay? And it is a goal of mine to reach out to women who are carrying this weight inside of them. And this weight comes through in new diseases that they've named, one being endometriosis, one being polycystic ovarian syndrome, and of course there are fibroids, and a host of other things that are beginning to happen. And talking to these women in these circles, I started asking questions about their mothers, about their grandmothers, and about their great-grandmothers. And I found that these women all had something in common. I mean, it was uncanny to know that at least 9 out of 10 had the same thing in common, which is their mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and so on, experienced trauma to the womb. So experiencing that trauma, be it domestic violence, be it rape, be it just verbal abuse, just disrespected, physical abuse, these women are being born today in this society with these diseases of the womb that are preventing them from bringing forth children in a healthy way. They're in pain, their centers are off, they don't understand their walk on this planet. Now, all women don't come here with the codes to bear children, but those that do are being affected, and it's coming from somewhere. So it is for me, and the work that I intend to do is to connect the dots here. I like to connect those dots by women stepping forward and saying, okay, yes, I've had an abortion, a miscarriage, yes, I have endometriosis, yes, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and you come with me, and we sit in this circle on 7 grams, and we go back. We go back to the ancestral trauma that's been passed on to where actually these mothers, these great-grandmothers experiences in this psychedelic experience. You will be led by me, and we will go into this place, and then we're going to stop it right there. Now, a lot of times, it sounds like an ibogaine trip or iboga. Are you all familiar with iboga? Okay, so that could be as well an iboga trip, but I'm going to use psilocybin cubensis, which is my psychedelic of choice, in order to reach into that place, because that place is triple black darkness, and it is very powerful. And a lot of women are no longer understanding that it's a home. Instead, they're walking around like it's a tomb, So women are dying inside, and they don't understand what it is that's keeping them from reaching their best place in life, So it is my goal. It's a goal at this point. I'm talking to several women, and if there are any women in this audience that want to leave me with their number or they know of someone, then I ask them to stop me and please pass that information on, because this is going to happen as soon as I can get enough people to say yes to this. You got to come to Detroit and hang out with me, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. So just a little bit about my story here, though. In one of my journeys, I'm sitting by a body of water, and this beautiful black woman, she was blacker than black could possibly be. She came and she sat beside me, and she opened up my hand, and she placed something inside of my hand, and then she closed it. And she said, "Thank you for keeping me." Intrinsically, I knew that that woman was my womb. I was plagued with fibroids my entire life before I got things handled through psychedelics. I was plagued with these fibroids to where I was just losing tons of blood and just fatigued and tired and had to have blood transfusions, and I needed to understand what the hell and why is this going on? Didn't know at that time that my great-grandmother had been severely traumatized and that my grandmother had been severely traumatized. Now, they say that energy will skip a generation, and it did, because my mother didn't go through that, but it got me, And I'm praying that my daughter and my granddaughter will move on and not experience this, because I've managed to heal that space for myself through psychedelics. I took the psychedelics and stood in the mirror, and the energy, it showed me, if pain had a face, it showed me what pain looked like on my stomach. It just showed, it transformed it. It showed me that this was a gnarly place and that it needed some help. And I was able to relate to that energy, and I knew exactly what I needed to do from that point going forward. Now, 9 days later, don't get me wrong, I had to go see the medical people, and I had to get some things handled. But that was the beginning. That was the beginning of me understanding the trauma that women are holding on to in that place. And a lot of times that trauma has come from what has happened to their mothers and their grandmothers and their great-grandmothers. Now, are there any couples in here today right now? Are there any couples? No couples, no? Do it. Yeah. Can you guys stand up for me? The couples? Okay, so brothers, I want you to just take and place, and if it's male, female, or female, female, that's fine. But I want you to take and place your hand on the womb of your woman. And sisters, I want you to take your hand and place on the heart of your partner. And that is the divine connection that I want you to hold on to for a moment. And as I say these words, sisters, I want you to give of yourself. I bless your womb because I want you to give of yourself in a divine and sacred way. And brothers, I want you to speak love into that area. And every time you give of yourself in a divine and sacred way to your man or to your woman, understanding that this is a sacred energy, that it is magic, that is happening, and that we are blessing one another. Okay? The beautiful blackness that is the womb, the beautiful blackness that is the earth. We plant seeds in the earth and it grows. We plant seeds in the body and they grow. And so we want to talk about the children that are going to come forth from these healthy wombs. And these children that are coming forth are going to change the whole paradigm of this place. And we call these mushroom babies. And so when you think about sex being sacred and magical, that's exactly what we're doing. You know, let's forget about the hookup that we met at the bar, you know, and don't know who he was the next day. I mean, you know, we go through our 20s, our teens, being promiscuous, and you know, we want to even start to teach that is not the way to be if we're going to protect these wombs, because we're talking about toxic energy that's being released into the body, you know, and it throws everything off course. So the word is called henosis, H-E-N-O-I-S, and that means becoming one flesh. And I say to you, those who are psychedelic adventurers, take those 7 grams. You take them, he takes them. And then that is when you will have your sexual interaction on those 7 grams. Now, I ain't talking 5, I'm not talking 9, I'm talking 7, okay? So, and don't be scared of the amount, because our protocol that has been put forth maybe 20-something years ago when I started was 5 grams is where we start at, which brought about visual acuity. Everything starts to just, you know what I'm talking about. It just, you can see better. You have a better advantage because you can see and hear better. You know, and that's what the hunters and gatherers did in the earlier days. They knew that they can see and hear better. And the women gathered and ate the mushrooms. The men hunted so that they can see further. The 7-gram energy, CNSA, Central Nervous System Arousal. So on 7, that's an aphrodisiac type kind of energy, and we'll talk about that further. And then the 9 grams, 5, 7, 9, the 9 grams imparts the mysteries. You start to go about galactically speaking. You leave this planet and you go out into the multiverse, okay? So understanding that that protocol, which I'm thinking about, you know, maybe even changing because you young folks, and I'm so thrilled that you all are so young. I didn't start psychedelics until I was about 40, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, to drag all that stuff up to 40, but you all are doing it early, and I'm excited about this because this is what we need right now. So I applaud you all for doing this at this point and so many young people being here. So the mysteries are imparted at 9, but we're going to tap into the 7, which is where henosis takes place. Has anybody ever had a mushroom orgasm? That's without a partner, though. Anybody had a mushroom orgasm? Just one person here? Okay. Okay. And I'm sorry, I can't see, the light is a little bright, but okay. So you know that through a mushroom orgasm, it can last and last and last, maybe throughout almost your entire experience of maybe 3, 4, 5 hours. And that the body tends to open up. A woman's legs will spread just wider than she could ever think they would imagine without the psychedelics. And then the universe comes out. There's a light that will emit from the vagina, and then the planets start to come in front of her. And she knows that she has given birth to the part of the world that she belongs to. It's a beautiful thing. And so if you get to experience this, I can't wait. Do the 7. I'm not guaranteeing that you will, but I can guarantee you that there will be that sexual energy inside of that. And it's not about, I'm coming. That's not it at all. It's about, I'm releasing and I'm opening up. and I'm giving forth, which is what women do. We're receptive, but we also give forth. So, with your partner on 7, you're moving into this experience. You're stroking his lingam. You're stroking the lingam until you understand and you see what this lingam really is. It transforms. Yes, it's a penis, but it transforms into the magical tool that it is. And as you open yourself up to receive this energy into your sacred space, your yoni, your sacred space, that is when you will start to make this movement of hypnosis. That's you, that's him. You come together. That is one part. And it's not so much the orgasm that is happening, it is the movement. It is the energy. It is the action. It is the breathing. It is the blood flow. It is the essence. And you start to speak in another language that only you two can understand. And you're bringing forth this child. Now, will you always manage to conceive at this point? Not always. Keep it up. It'll happen sooner than what you think. We bring forth these babies through this energy. And they've already got a real good start, okay? So now I say to you, once you've conceived, start taking your microdosing, maybe a gram or 2, throughout your pregnancy. You can maybe increase it as it gets a little further along. You don't want to go into your 9th month with a large dose of mushrooms, though. You want to kind of keep it in the middle there, maybe between the 2 and 3 points of your journey, 2 or 3 grams points of your pregnancy. These children become extremely aware when they're in the womb, extremely aware. They know when you're around, they stop, they listen, they talk to you, they introduce themselves to you in utero. So I want you to understand that you're bringing forth a magical person, and I want you to think about even labor and delivery on a journey if you're able to have this child at home. That is the point, because they will not allow you to do this in a hospital, of course not. So midwives, you want to bring forth these children at home. And then through breastfeeding, you want to ingest and you want to feed the children. Now, I can speak because I do have some data, and that data is because I do have a mushroom baby at home, which is my grandchild. Her name is Amor. She's now 6. Her mother took about 3 grams, maybe in the 2nd month of her pregnancy. And if Amor was right here right now, she'd be doing this lecture instead of me. She's very aware. She sees things on a different level. When I lost my husband through complications of COVID last year, she looked at me and she seen that I was kind of far off into space somewhere, and she says, Umi, they're just rebuilding him, right? And I just had to, okay, if you say so. Yes, that makes sense to me. She called me another time just kind of looking out into space. And she says, Baba Kalindi is still teaching, And I said, well, how do you know that, Amor? She says, because he whispers in everybody's ear. We were talking about death the other day, and I was feeling just a little bit lonely, missing my man, And she says, I says, well, you know what, Amor, when you're dead, you're just gone, you're gone. And she says, not really, not at all, Umi. And I said, thank you for the reminder, baby, because I was feeling a little bit lonely. So we're talking about these babies that are coming here that are so tuned in. And as far as the ramifications of something going wrong, you cannot OD over on psychedelics. As far as psilocybin is concerned, you have to eat your weight in mushrooms in order to, and who gonna do that, right? I weigh a good, well, whatever. But you have to eat your weight in order to just, and nobody has done that, okay? So medically, people want to understand what's really going on, especially the women that are pregnant. They want to understand, and they don't want to cause any harm to the baby. So I cannot say at this point, has there been harm? There's no data been gathered yet, I've not seen it yet, and I've got several women who have trusted me enough to take the journey on mushrooms and then bring forth the children. And the children that we are bringing forth are going to be the ones. So now, Jade, I applaud her for having this conference. Please give her a hand. Jade is 26 years old. I say that these babies that are going to be coming forth, they're going to be doing this at 12 and 13, okay? Because, see, this is what time it is. Y'all think we got time. We don't have no time. We got to handle our business right now. And we are being connected on this plane right now for a reason. Psychedelics have been around for thousands and thousands of years. But right now on the planet, y'all, right now, it's being pushed at us because we have to do the work. Now, of course, there's the recreational dose, 1 gram, go to the party, hang out, woo, woo, woo. But we're talking about the spiritual energy that we're connecting with in the multiverse, on the other side. You know, and our ancestors, those mothers that have been talking to me about heal the woman, help heal the women to bring forth these children in order to save this world that we're in. It's the babies, y'all. Babas, if you got babies out there and you're not stepping up, step the hell up. Quit playing. You know, start building with your partner. Make this something real, something that we have to do because we're in trouble. Relationships are in trouble, and they're in trouble because it's on purpose. It's on purpose. All of this is by design. So those of you with the mind-expanding energy, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you go into that place, you get the feeling of, we don't have a lot of time. We got to make something happen and make some movement going on. And you all, being here, are doing it. Sacred sex. A man and a woman conceiving. Sacred sex. A woman and a woman. Sacred sex. I believe in the seed that is coming forth that is spilled into a woman in order to honor that body, to create the children. So I want to just kind of stay in that area. I got nothing against the gay movement at all whatsoever. That's magic being made as well, because you know why? There's love being made with hopes that there is love and not just for the sake of screwing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's nothing wrong, like I said the other day, it's nothing wrong with putting them heels on and bending over. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to handling your business and knowing that we got something to do for real, then that is when it becomes the sacred energy for each and every one of us. So I told you about my story, my fibroids, my journey, manifesting through the psychedelics, opening up my womb. Now, if anybody wants to share their business via has anybody had an abortion? Abortion? Okay. Thank you for giving forth that energy. Because through that, those cells are still in you. They're still a part of you. They're part of your memory. That child chose you for a reason, but we sent that disembodied spirit out there. So through mushrooms, I came up with a ritual to help move that energy on. Not lose it, but move it on. And there's a basic ritual that I've given women, and it's very simple, and I'm gonna try to go through it quickly. I know you're gonna give me the wrap up. You're gonna give me the wrap up when it's time. Okay, I didn't see that, but somebody will give me the wrap up. So, oh, you'll give me the wrap up. Okay, very good. A styrofoam bowl. You know, a little dollar store styrofoam bowl? Styrofoam bowl. This came through a mushroom journey, okay? You take that styrofoam bowl, and you take something that belongs to you. It could be a lock of hair, it could be a button off your favorite shirt, it could be a piece of jewelry, just as long as it belongs to you. This is for the women who have had abortions. You take that and you put it into the bowl. You take a piece of paper and you write the name of that child. Now, at that point when you had the abortion, you don't know whether it was a boy or girl, but you know that it was a boy or a girl. So when you give it the name, there won't be any thought. You'll just write down Jack or Jill, you know, because you know intrinsically what that child was to you. You put that in the bowl. You take a piece of food, chew it the same way we would chew in the old days, and then place the food into the child's mouth. You take and you put the food in your mouth, and then you take that and chew it, and you put that into the bowl. And then you write a letter, just small enough to go into that bowl, and tell that child while that child wasn't able to come through at this time. Because see, what this baby needs from you, what this disembodied spirit needs to understand from you, is that I've chosen you, but all I need you to do is acknowledge me, not forget about me, because I was once a part of you. And so when you do that, you take this bowl, and anything else that you think you might want to put in that bowl is fine after this point. You take that bowl to a body of water, and you place it in the water, and you let it just go off into the water till you can't see it anymore. And I promise you, when you get home and you hold on to yourself, you will be able to release a lot of energy that has been stored up in that womb, because that womb has been grieving the loss of a child that has not been acknowledged and that has been taken away. I've had 3 abortions, and my children, Ebony, Michael, and Kenya, I acknowledge them. When somebody says, Ayana, how many children do you have? I say 2, but I would have had 5, Ebony, Michael, and Kenya, because I'm just acknowledging them. That is the very essence that healed my womb, which was acknowledging these babies. And again, through psychedelics is how it came forth, through me to do these things. So it is my journey, obviously, to help sisters stand in that power, stand powerful and strong, and be who you are in that power, and give forth this energy. Take y'all drawers off. Stop wearing panties if you don't have to wear them. A dress and some shoes is all you need, really. What you want to do, what you're doing is absorbing the electromagnetic energy from the earth. They made panties and pants for a reason, to block this power. Okay? This is power, inverted pyramid. That's power in and of itself, okay? It's where he chere from, where everybody got to come through. They got to come through, and they want to shut that power down as best they can. So take the drawers off, wearing when you have to, but yeah, understand that that's energy. And when you're at home, don't wear your bras. That blocks energy as well. Don't wear pants, wear big skirts and walk through your house. And I promise you, when you go into the home of a woman who has no panties on, you don't want to leave too soon. You don't even know what that is, but you're just hanging out because you're feeling a particular essence in that home. So understand your power, sisters. Understanding it's not about putting men down, it's about raising us up as a people to be connected, and so that the balance can be sought and found and held on to. Questions? Questions?
Does it have to be a styrofoam bowl?
Uh-huh.
Does it have to be a styrofoam bowl?
Well, I chose styrofoam because it floats well.
Okay.
But if you got a wooden bowl that will float on the water, that would be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Mama, I thank you. I'm going to go in.
Okay, let's say that. So it's supposed to happen this year. Now I'm going to have a virtual energy on World Mushroom Day. Didn't know there was a World Mushroom Day until this year, but it's on September 20th. Like we got 420. So 9 weeks. We're going to be a 1 hour to 2 hour virtual energy that will lead us into the Women in Influence Conference in early 2022, which will be springtime. Because we're also having the Detroit Psychedelic Conference in the same year, and that's something that I don't do, is give two conferences in 1 year, but I've got to do it this way for the reasons, because again, so many people are coming to this conference, and I did want this COVID energy to just die down a little bit better before I brought forth everybody together again, okay? Yes. 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 Yeah, so for my sisters who have had hysterectomy, you talk to her. You lay naked in the moonlight outside if you can, but if not, a window that shines on that womb through the night. Again, this placement here, underneath the navel, right above the pubic bone, and you take a piece of carnelian stone and you place it in that area right there, carnelian, and you allow that moonlight to come through onto that womb. The energy is amazing, and you're asking for forgiveness. Because see, during my fibroid journey, every doctor I went to wanted to take my womb. And finally, I was like, what? Let me take your balls. I mean, what are you talking about? He immediately got offended. And I said, the same way you're offended, I'm offended as well. You're telling me that I'm not going to make it through this journey without a hysterectomy. Now, am I saying that some women don't need to have this happen? I mean, I don't know medically, because I was in pretty bad shape. You know, I'm walking around with 4 or 5 pints of blood, you know, not understanding why I'm so crazy right now, but I hung the hell in there. I started drinking my urine. I started finding natural ways to heal myself, you know, and I was able to hold on to this wound. And she thanked me as a result of it, because when these women have hysterectomies, she was just thrown off, you know, and they're giving you pills to cope. We live in an abnormal civilized society where they give us abnormal drugs to handle our business in this life because of things that are so abnormal. So walking around without a womb, you know, because they said we had to have a hysterectomy. I was a candidate for it, but I refused to do it. Something deep inside, those great mothers that I just called forth, they whispered in my ear, she who whispers, don't do it. So yes, there are rituals for that. Use the bones of nature, which is our stones, our crystals. Those are power. Those are powerful energies. The stones that we wear. I wear rubies in my ear. Those rubies will darken when evil threatens. If the energy is from a male, it's coming from the right side. If it's from a female, it's coming in from the left side. How do I know those rubies are dark? It's because it starts to bother me. The ear starts to itch. I have to be like, what is going on? And I'll take the earring out and I'll look and it's deep dark red. That lets me know to get on point, start observing who is around me, why they're around me, what's being said, the whole bit. So nature's bones, your stones, get to know them, have a relationship with them. And carnelian is the most powerful stone for womb health and energy, along with your quartz crystals though. Okay? So I would say to you, do that, put it there, maybe even surround your body with your crystals as you